Asked if I could do some translating over the phone. There was some guy from Hawaii that was interested in doing some things here. And I told us, well, I am so busy. I've just got a new job. I'm traveling. I've got family coming in from France and Canada. But I'll be glad to talk on the phone. Next thing I know, we're talking, and it went to like, oh, what? And I heard what this was all about. And I said, are you kidding me? Next thing I know, I'm saying, hey, maybe you guys can stay at my house. We've got one bathroom. So, I believe it's a God thing, because what I started realizing was I was so busy doing my own things. It's time to stop and prioritize what's important. So, YWAM is here. For those of us that aren't familiar with YWAM, welcome. It's good to see you. That Lauren Cunningham started that over what year? Back in the 1900s. Back in the 1900s. And it's amazing to me because the very first book that I remember reading when I came to Puerto Rico was Lauren Cunningham. It's a little book called Is That Really You, Lord? And I thought about that as we were talking on the phone. I was like, this is lining up. It should happen. And I was talking to Megan last night. I want to just share with each one of you that have come so far that every single one of you have been so incredible, showing up as tired as you were last night. And I just want to compliment you for just to see the light of God in you. And I've enjoyed talking to every single one of you that I've talked to. I've just been lifted up because of that. So I'll let you just share a little bit. Maybe you can introduce everyone, or they can stand up and share a few testimonies. All right. Let's welcome them one more time.
Yeah.
All right. So maybe I should start off with sharing a little bit of what YWAM is. So what we do usually, it's kind of a worldwide organization. It started off with Lauren Cunningham. He started that in 1960.
1900s, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere, and it just exploded over the whole earth, like base over base over base. And his heart was, back in the days, in order to be a missionary, you have to be properly trained, right? You have to study the Bible. You have your bachelor or even a doctor. And the time where you were able to go into ministry, you were like 30 or 35. And so there were a lot of he saw the lack of young people in ministry. And his heart was, let's just make a school, like a discipleship training school, where they train people for 3 months, and then they sent them out for short-term missions for 2 months. And that's what the discipleship training school is all about. So people from all around the world, they would come to our base or to other bases all around the world, and they would just invest 3 months to just get to know God. And every week we have another topic. For example, we have Holy Spirit week. Then we have the life of Jesus, a Bible overview. We have a worldview, and all those weeks, it's 12 weeks where we go dig deep into the Bible of what God says about evangelism, about whatever. It's it goes more to the discipleship kind of part. And so after 3 months, we send teams out. We have 3 teams right now. Now we have 2 because we merged together. So we have 1 team in Southeast Asia, Central Asia, which is a closed nation. So that's why we can't really share the exact location. But we have 1 team in Costa Rica, and then 1 team in Oahu, and now we merged together and do missions here. So that's kind of what we do here, and we're just very, very excited because our heart is to get to know God and to make Him known. And I've heard you guys are very, very similar heart. That's exactly what you have.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So this is completely YWAM, right? To get to know Him, because this is so important to know Him first. And then when you know Him, you can go out and share about, who you know is about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're very, very excited, very stoked about that. And so we started exactly 5 weeks ago. And maybe testimony, I can start with 1 testimony, and I'm just going to call up people real quick to share another testimony. So 1 testimony that I had is the first week we came to Oahu was we were staying with that lady, Auntie Ruth was her name, and she's, I think she turns 80 or something like that, but she's on fire for the Lord. She just makes her property available for missionaries or for people that come, and she really wanted to use it to reach people. So the first week we stayed there, then we went to the church, stayed with the church, and like the second or third week they had a group of girls coming actually. Like Auntie Ruth had like 3 girls on her property, but they're not really Christians at all. And so she would invite us over so we could minister to those ladies. And the first time we went there, there was a lot of, we felt kind of the heaviness spiritually. There was a lot of new age things going on, kind of a witchcraft kind of thing. And this is actually how I became a believer. Like as I was younger, my mom practiced like witchcraft and new age, and then it got way out of hand, and then she met Jesus, and then we went to church, and then with 17 I became a believer too. That's kind of the short version. But I was able to share with this lady my my testimony of how I became a believer, and how much witchcraft or this whole new age movement, how dark it actually was. And then I shared the light of Jesus, and then everybody in our team was kind of sharing a little bit about Jesus, and then we met up again and we were surfing together. And now last night actually, as we left the base, I received a text, and she was like, "Hey Fabian, I really want to start reading the Bible. Can you like recommend a good translation?" And it's just amazing to see those fruits, right? That's like the payday. When we invest in people and then they come and they're like, "Oh, I want to read the Bible. I'm so curious what God is all about." So she went back to England, and she really wants to read the Bible now. And I was just praying there in the corner just for God to open up her eyes. Yeah, so that's kind of my testimony. Can you maybe just really could stand up and kind of just share your name, where you come from, and then after that we can share like 3 more testimonies or something like that. So starting with
I'm Emmett. I'm from Canada, right in the middle of Canada.
Oh, what's that?
Manitoba?
Wow. Yeah.
Just flat, nothing
Canadian.
I'm Andrew. I'm from Colorado. And
Hey, welcome.
I'm Megan. I'm also from Canada, in Ontario, and I'm 21.
Yeah.
I'm Kate. I'm from Oregon, and I'm 20.
Yeah.
Brazil.
I'm Deborah, and I come from Brazil, and I'm 21.
Hi, I'm Amy. I'm also from Canada, from British Columbia, and I'm 19.
Yes.
Hey, I'm Eileen. I'm from Switzerland, and I'm 20.
Yes, welcome.
Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm from Germany, and I'm 19.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Naomi. I'm also from Germany, and I'm also 19.
I'm Josh. I'm from Oregon, and I am 18.
Yeah.
one more. I'm Caleb from California, and I'm 32.
Yes, thank you, Caleb.
Yeah, that's me.
Somebody has to have some. Very sweet. Okay, so now just ask my team who has like a burning thing in their heart to share a testimony. Please raise your hand so you can come up. Yes.
Come on, go, bro.
Take your West Coast. Barefoot.
Yeah, I mean, have to. So God is amazing. He's so amazing, and He's really just been showing us over this last, even in the lecture phase, but really in the outreach phase, just giving so much fruit and blessing and glory back to Him. I was actually able to share my testimony a couple of times in the last in Hawaii, and had a couple of people come up to me and just tell me that they really could connect where I was coming from, and it allowed them to open up and come deeper into what God had for them and ask questions that they had been wanting to ask, but really thinking that no one could understand their perspective. So it made me think to go back to something our leaders said when we were sharing at a homeless shelter. We said they said, hey, we're going into their home, and this is pretty vulnerable for them. So you need to be vulnerable with them. You need to show them that you're on the same playing field, that you're not better than them, they're not better than you. We're all sinners, we're all created alike. You need to come to where they're at and be vulnerable with them. And as soon as we did that, we let God work, took ourselves out of the picture, bowed low before Him, and let Him do His job. it was incredible. Like the way that he just opened up hearts and minds and allowed other people to just see his glory, his light through.
How do you do that? Like be vulnerable?
You don't put up a wall, you don't put up a face like, look at me, I'm like this great Christian and I like let me tell you how good I am. It's more like, hey, here's how broken I was, here's how terrible I was, and this is what God did in my life. Yeah.
Amen. Thank you. So bad.
So yeah, this is kind of a shared testimony. So I was on the Costa Rica team, so we were in Costa Rica. We were helping with the base and doing one of their homeless ministries, which were we would go to the local park and we'd give out food to the homeless there. And so we were going to the park one day and we decided, well, we're not going to give them the food until like we have a group together so we can share the gospel with them. And I got the privilege of sharing the gospel with all of them. And it went really well. They all listened. And then at the end, Andrew came up and he got to ask if anyone wanted to be saved. And we had a bunch of people raise their hand and they all prayed the prayer. And yeah, we had a couple people So I did a lot there.
Hi. So at the church we were staying at, we did a food pantry each week. And one time I was standing in the lineup to hand out food and I was next to this woman. And through the pantry we kind of just had small talk or whatever. But towards the end we started to get talking more and she started to share a bit about her life and some things she was going through and struggling with. And she was new to this side of the island, so she didn't really have any friends or connections. And she just come to this food pantry, which was super cool. And we ended up talking, and she was going through some stuff that I could really relate with her. And it was really awesome because I got to pray with her in the end, and she prayed for me too, which was super cool. And then I invited her to like some things at the church, like the worship night and stuff like that. And she came to that, and then she showed up to church on Sunday. And when she came back to church, it was really cool because she, some of the things we had prayed for together, she said were improving in her life, and it was really cool because she could see that God was listening, and that was a really big thing for her.
Glory to the Lord. Glory to the Lord.
Hey, so, I mean, a lot of the ones have already been shared, but there was this really cool God moment where, so every morning we have a quiet time where we just read the Bible, spend time with God. And one morning I just decided to go down to the beach. It was the one and only time that I did this. And so I went down to the beach, just set up a chair, drinking a coffee, and there's a homeless guy sleeping over there kind of next to me. And then I felt like maybe I should talk to him, but he's sleeping, I didn't want to wake him up. So I just kept like reading my Bible, and then I look over, he's awake, and moving around, he's awake. So then my time was pretty much up anyway, so I packed up my stuff, I walked over, started to talk with him, and then, we were just talking about his life and stuff. He was really open, talked about his struggle with alcohol and stuff like that, and I got to share the gospel with him, and then, and pray with him. He was going to try and get his ID because someone had stolen it, and he didn't think he was going to be able to get it, so I prayed for it, we prayed together, and then we said goodbye, and then a couple days later, I was not busy doing anything because I wasn't feeling well, and so I was kind of down. I was like, God, why do you, what's the purpose for this? I'm missing our Christian Surfers meeting because of this, and then I felt like he's go down to Foodland. It's just a grocery store. So okay, yeah, sure, I'll go. And I was like, but I really don't want to bike there. That would I'm not feeling like biking. I have a headache. And then so but I was like, okay, I'll go. I'll bike there. So I was getting ready to go, and then someone comes up to me she's like, hey, do you want to ride my moped? Sometime. I'm like, actually, yeah, I'm going to a grocery store right now. I can take it right now. And then so God just gave me a ride. Okay, cool. So I took her moped, drove down to the grocery store, and then I didn't know why. And then I got to talk to two people there. I prayed with the security lady, And I thought that was the reason why, but then as I was leaving, I was opening up, and then there was Mike, the guy I had seen on the beach. He was just sitting there kind of in the bushes, and I was like, whoa! So, and he waved at me, and instead of driving by, I turned back around, parked, and I went over and talked with him again. He got his ID, he was like feeling good, and I had invited him to the church. And then the next day, we were just getting back from something, and I saw him at the Alcoholics Anonymous meeting at the church when we got back. So,
Yeah. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord.
Okay, well, we've got more testimonies over pizza, and we'll talk some more then, but we're gonna, I'm remembering, if there's someone here that I missed. I think maybe it's Symphony. I haven't sent you this, but I tried to send a WhatsApp out to everyone. It's got the agenda for the next 32 days. Julianne Smith was nice enough to help coordinate and put all this great stuff in there. We don't have to run through this. This is page 1, and it's got all the agenda for every Saturday. There's an outreach. We're going to do the first outreach is next Saturday over at Pine Grove. We're going to have surf camp for the kids. So if you haven't received this, it's just page 1. See me after the service, and I'll get that to you. In the meantime, I don't know what these lemons are all about, but I can almost guess the name of the title of the service. Let's see if Pastor Chloe can come up with a few